Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told out of Voice of Radio, so today we've got some very exciting and very important things that we need to have a talk about. We've got new sets that have kind of gone and been revealed-ish. It's really awkward. We've got listings over in Japan for new sets that we knew about, and some stuff that we didn't know about. And not to put too fine a point on it, but this is getting very important and very exciting, and this is stuff we should be, well, frankly, very, very happy about. First of all, we've got listings for the sets Cyber Judge and Wild Force. Now, that's fine. We kind of knew this. This isn't news per se, because I've already told you about these. These have been listed over on PlayAsia. And these are sets which I previously told you about, and essentially these are more sets featured around Paradox Pokemon. Of course, in the West, we've just had the release of Paradox Rift, but Paradox Rift is largely coming off of a double set over in Japan, Future Flash and Ancient Roar. And it didn't take a genius to figure out, when we saw those sets being listed over in Japan, the Future Flash and Ancient Roar were going to be sets that were built around Paradox Pokemon. That was pretty obvious, frankly. That was something we saw coming, and that is exactly what happened when it came down to it. We found ourselves turning around looking at a set with Future Pokemon and a set with Ancient Pokemon. And then they did in fact bring in the whole Future and Ancient mechanic. Obviously, we had Roaring Moon and Iron Valiant as the main Pokemon in the sets, and that actually made a huge amount of sense, because remember, well, for those of you that have played the games, you get to the Area 0 towards the end of the game, and then you get all these Paradox Pokemon, but Iron Valiant and Roaring Moon for Violet and Scarlet, respectively, they are the kind of signature Pokemon. They are the signature Paradox Pokemon, the hardest ones to find, the ones that are featured in certain battles, which I won't ruin. They are clearly the big Pokemon, Ancient and Future, in their respective games, so that made perfect sense. So then we get to these new sets, Wild Force and Cyber Judge. I mean, come on! Come on! There's no way that they are not also Ancient and Future Pokemon. Cyber Judge, clearly a Future set. It's got the word Cyber in it, for goodness sake. Wild Force, clearly an Ancient set, because past, wild, all of that, this all just makes perfect sense. And yeah, okay, cool. We like this. Incidentally, these do match trademarks that we actually saw back in April. I showed you these trademarks for the first time. They are the exact same names, Wild Force and Cyber Judge. These are trademarks I showed you way back in April, and they are now here. And the fact that they're being listed here tells us that they are probably going to be the next set. This is going to be Scarlet and Violet 5. Which also makes perfect sense, of course, because having two Paradox sets in a row, they're clearly going for the whole Paradox thing here. And we saw a similar thing with Ultra Beasts back in the Sun and Moon era. We introduced them in Crimson Invasion, which was very much an Ultra Beast themed set. But then we also went into Ultra Prism, which was another Ultra Beast set. And then actually Forbidden Light, which was another Ultra Beast set. We had like Naganadel EX and Ultra Necrozma EX as an example. So yeah, these were very much what we were expecting. We had a trio of sets that all made perfect sense, and that's essentially where we are at the moment. We are introducing all of these, and this makes perfect sense, and this is very cool. Now, in terms of Future and Ancient Pokemon that we are expecting in this particular set, there are a few things that are worth noting. Remember, we are missing a couple. In terms of Future, we are missing Iron Fawns, despite the fact it was featured on the artwork of Iron Valiant. And we are missing Fluttermane, despite the fact that it was actually featured on the artwork of the special illustration rare of Roaring Moon. Both of them were hinted at, but neither of them came along. In terms of your main Paradox Pokemon, they are the ones that are actually missing from the TCG at the moment. They're ones where, for whatever reason, we didn't actually get those cards. Do remember, of course, Iron Leaves and Walking Wake have since been added to the game. So they were never going to be in the main set, just be clear. But it is kind of cool that we are hopefully getting them in this set. I'm expecting to get them in this set. It makes too much sense, frankly, not to get them in this set. No guarantee or any of that. But come on, ladies and gentlemen. Come on. Come on. Makes way too much sense. Now, we have actually since found out about Iron Crown and Raging Bolt, who haven't even been added to the game yet. They're coming along with the Indigo Disc, the second DLC. So I would hold your horses on those ones. Iron Crown and Raging Bolt, I don't know, is the honest answer. As a side note, Pokemon like Ogerpon from the DLC, I wouldn't expect them in this set. It's not to say they won't be in this set, let's be clear, but I wouldn't necessarily expect them in this set. This seems to be a Paradox Pokemon set, but I think Iron Force and Fluttermane are just absolute slam dunks to be added in here. And I do think that getting Walking Wake and Iron Leaves is likely. I'm not quite so sure about those, but I would say more likely than not. That's the best I can tell you. I think it's more likely than not that we do get them popping along here. But there are some other questions that have been asked, because of course, for a long time, people asked the question, well, hang on a second, Wassy. What about the fact that we had Iron Treads and Great Tusk in Scarlet and Violet base, but they're not future and ancient Pokemon? And I've told you before that the deal with that really simply is the ancient and future mechanics did not exist when those cards came out. They were never intended to have the ancient and future mechanics. We were never going to get them as ancient and future Pokemon in Scarlet and Violet. There was never going to be an errata. That was never going to happen. But I just showed you the other day that in Shiny Treasures EX, we are actually going to be getting a new Great Tusk and Iron Treads EX, and they are future and ancient Pokemon. They have that designation. They use that mechanic. That's lovely. So then we had a bunch of people going, well, okay, that's pretty cool. What about Koraidon and Miraidon? Are they not also ancient and future Pokemon? According to the video games, are they not also Paradox Pokemon? Why don't we have them? And the answer is, oh, they're coming, ladies and gentlemen. They're coming. Because we've also had listings for another couple of products go up on PlayAsia, and these are products we knew nothing about before. Deck and Build Set Ancient Miraidon EX and Deck and Build Set Future Miraidon EX. Obviously, that's a typo. It means Ancient Koraidon. Very obviously a typo, because Koraidon is ancient, Miraidon is future. So yes, I know on the website they've actually listed it with the name of the wrong Pokemon, but come on. That seems very, very obvious. For what it's worth, they've been listed at 22 quid, but I don't know what to tell you about this. I don't. For what it's worth, they're actually available to order right now. I can't tell you for how long they're going to remain available to order, but actually, as I record this, they are available to order. I will pop links in the description. Do remember that if you want to use a proxy service, you can always go and use Shipp'n and use that code PTCGRadio15. That is an option. So, yeah, they're actually available right now. Now, by the time you watch this, there's a decent chance they've sold out, let's be clear. All I can tell you is what's happening as I record the video. But they are actually available to order if you want to take a chance that they're going to be cool. I mean, look, they've got Miraidon and Koraidon EX in, and they're going to be future and ancient Pokemon. And that's actually really very important. Because remember, according to the video games, Solgaleo and Lunala are Ultra Beasts. Now, I'm not getting into the weeds about this. Here's what I can tell you. I went and asked Joe Merrick, do the run Cerebi. Lovely dude. And as far as it goes, he knows everything. He's told me they are technically Ultra Beasts, so I'm telling you they're technically Ultra Beasts, because Joe knows basically everything. And although we got a bunch of Solgaleo and Lunala cards, we never got cards where they were designated as Ultra Beasts. That never happened. That was never a thing. So it was absolutely possible that we would go through the entirety of the Scarlet and Violet block, never getting Koraidon and Miraidon cards that reflected the fact that they were in fact Paradox Pokemon, ancient and future Pokemon. So I kind of love the fact that we are getting them here. No information about these whatsoever. Expect these decks to be released. Well, we've got an expected release of January the 31st. But we've got a listing for Cyber Judge and Wild Force of January the 26th. And to be fair, January the 31st is a Wednesday. So don't expect them to actually release on the 31st. Expect it to be all around January the 26th, which, as a side note, is the date we are expecting to get the English version of Shiny Treasures EX, although as I record this video, that set has not been revealed. We're only a couple months away, and we're actually in a weird situation we are rarely in. But we are in a weird situation at the moment. There is no English Pokemon TCG set that has been revealed and not released. The most recent set that was revealed is Paradox Rift. That is out. Every single English Pokemon TCG set that has been revealed has been released. There is no set that we're currently waiting on officially. So I wouldn't be surprised. I'm guessing Friday. This is a complete guesswork on my part, but based on what we've seen from other sets, there is a decent chance that it is being released on Friday. To the point that my mother-in-law is watching my kids while I'm working on Friday, but I'm still picking them up from school because I love doing the school run. I am warning her that Friday I might not be able to do the school run, or I might be late to do the school run, because this set might drop an hour before the school run. It always drops an hour before the school run. So that's kind of interesting. January the 26th could turn out to be a very big day. But this is awesome. This is really, 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 really awesome. We've got confirmation that those sets are now real, and we've got confirmation that Koraidon and Miraidon are going to be getting these decks. Oh, and as a side note, the Japanese versions, or the Japanese names, are actually showing Miraidon and Koraidon. Yes, I know on PlayAsia they're both saying Miraidon. I've told you that's wrong. But the fact that they're coming back as EXs, and they're going to have that ancient and future designation, that is awesome. And I love it. But now it's over to you guys. Tell me what you think about this. Tell me how excited you are. Give me some predictions. Go nuts in the comment section, but be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk about Pokemon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCGradio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, join a Discord, and all kinds of fun things. And get shoutouts on the channel, like the lovely Jelena Renji, who's been a supporter of ours for a while now and is a very lovely person. So shout out to them for being a very lovely person and for the support. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.